Hello everybody and welcome to Dynamic GT League's Race 5 of the Wevo Championship. And as we get ready to take a look at the standings, Ray joins us. How are you, Ray? Oh,
How's yourself?
I'm really good. I'm absolutely brilliant. I hope I don't need a wee during this race, especially with the amount of rain that could be falling. As yeah, we're going to be heading over to the high-speed ring. And no, that's not a nickname you should give your girlfriend. I don't know if I made you laugh or cough then.
Yeah, look at these standards. How close is that?
It's very close. Also, look how close the fans are to the track here at the high-speed ring. As we see Demon R on pole position. The grids formed in this championship by the championship standing. So Demon R on pole position. SRI in second place.
Yeah, and then we've got SJP in third place, followed by Steve F1.
Yeah, sitting in fourth. Nelly in fifth place. So doing well so far for Nelly in the championship. And then Jason in sixth place.
Yep, and then we've got Rich in seventh. He's out his spot. He's usually eighth, but he's out his spot in seventh. And then is that Hay? That's Hay in eighth. Twilight ninth. Then we've got Wet Mate, and I've lost my positions. And then Gary and who's that? Artpal. Because he missed a few races, didn't he?
He did, yeah. So that was 10, 11 and 12. Okay, so here we go then. We're at 4 lights, 5 lights. Away.
Oh, jump start.
Go. Oh,
Jump
yeah.
start.
I think that was critical, getting a bit of a jump start. That's all right. Not jump start. He's had a great start. Already up the inside of Steve R. Steve F1 attacking FPP as well. And it did absolutely soaking wet here at the high speed ring. We have got very, very heavy rain. Although actually, no, the spray doesn't look too bad here as they make their way around turn 1. SRI takes the lead.
Yeah, these guys that come out and race, rain or shine.
Yeah, now when you say they come out, like, hi Ray, hi, you're gonna go racing. Okay, so, Demon R under attack from the Steves now, Steve F1, going round the outside. And then we're gonna, well, that's the only right-hand corner on the circuit. And now Demon R on the outside of Steve F1, and these S's, Ray, as we've seen from practice, being on the outside line, off the racing line, is the faster way through the corner. Demon R showing there.
Yep, yeah, Steve F1 showed it in the corner beforehand, and then Demon R paid him back. Oh, Demon R, what way is that?
Yeah, well, he's definitely on the barrier as, oh yeah, now Nelly making a move past us. The Demon R lost 3 places there. Got Jason right behind him, as you can see the way, well, couldn't see the radar. It was very, very green with a couple of yellowy bits. And yellowy means heavy rain. It can rain heavier if it gets through. Okay, through turn 1. Now, turn 2 here, race, some of these already in the pit. Turn 2 here is a very interesting corner, highly banked, and looks like the pack about to go from 3 or 4 wide. Steve F1 having a look at attacking SRI. No, can't get it.
Taking more right. Doesn't seem to be the quickest up to the run here at turn 2, 3, 4.
Yep. Oh, SGP in the back. Demon R had a spin on the exit of turn 2. SGP just had a moment as well. I don't know if he was assisted there. I wasn't really watching. Jason. Okay. Yeah, maybe Jason then affected SGP and waited for him as we're side by side. Oh, critical, going high. Nelly stuffed into the barrier by the looks of it there.
Yeah, I think I would be waiting if that was me. If I've stuffed somebody in the barrier up there.
Oh, go on there, Ray. Wait for everybody. Slow down and wait.
Animals. roughly up the bar.
Oh, with a bit of a bump. Now, the bump draft is such an effective tool around this circuit with the high-speed nature, technical high-speed ring. Yeah, high-speed nature. Oh, Demon R in the pits. Why would he be in the pits, Rick?
I think he's changed tyres. Look at radar, it's no splashes of rain and green cloud. Well, it doesn't guarantee rain.
Well, actually, that's the green, isn't it? It might
oh,
not
that's
look,
green.
Yeah, it might not look it for us. So, yeah, I mean, so it's rain, but it's not heavy rain, but it is heavy rain. Oh, hang on.
Pushing SGP around the corner. I just spotted that yellow bit of rain.
Yeah, and as they say,
even I went back on the wet, so I was a bit confused. That's something we'll need to wait and see.
Yeah, absolutely. Our power's gone a little high on entry into the final corner. Now, for those that have not done much practice, the turn 2 and the final corner could be very difficult. You know what? The spray seems to be getting worse off the back of the cars here, unless it's just a camera angle. So SGP now giving Crystal a bit of a bump draft. Now the spray does look more.
So I hope Demon R's went on wets. If the spray's looking more, it must be more wets. SGP taking that low line, trying to get past the critical.
Yeah, that he is. The leaders, SRI, Stephen 1 getting kind of close. So yeah, the line around turn 2, if you use the high line, very, very quick. You don't go close to the wide line. And then through these S's mentioned earlier, if you're on the outside, away from the racing line, you'll have so much more grip. But it does kind of mean if you are making the move on the outside, you end up where Artpal is here on the inside, and then you haven't quite got the grip. So really, you want to aim on being on the exit of the left-hand don't you? You want to be on the outside there.
It's good. It's good to see Artpal put SG3 under pressure here.
Absolutely. Steve F1 on the back down, trying to put pressure on SRI at the moment. And I wouldn't say, you know, I don't necessarily think it's raining hard. I'm just wondering whether, obviously, if the spray is getting thicker, that means more water is being lifted off the track. So maybe these wet.
Okay, that's sorry, but Artpal and SGP working together, the bump draft past critical at the turn 1.
Wow, okay, 2 things. Well done for spotting it, and 2, how did I not see that? I was sat there looking at the screen. I guess I didn't see the cars from the racing.
He's still sleeping.
Well, yeah, to be fair, I did only get out of bed, 15 minutes ago. No, it isn't. Okay, yeah, so Arpal and SGP made the move on, well, I said it last so ago, didn't I? Yeah, bump draft here, so effective.
Jason was coming in hot there, but he managed to keep it under control.
Yeah, now interesting.
That bump draft has helped him. They've kind of in the gap.
Rich Blues and Twilight battling in the background. In the background of the main screen. On the pack cam, SRI and Steve F1 are much closer on this occasion, but not close enough to attack. I wonder if Arpal's going to get a bit of a decent slipstream here. It's a good distance away to get a slipstream. I wouldn't be surprised if they continue forecasting as 2 leaders. Oh, weather change on the horizon. Looking on the radar. Yeah, Arpal's close right, hasn't he?
Yeah, and Steve F1 just flashed his headlights saying, "Don't you forget about you."
I thought you said, "Don't you wish you would make our words as fast as it seems." Okay, so Stephen R on the intermediate time. Okay, right, leaders, very close on the pack gap. Okay, so what's the hook? Gary, I think Gary pitted at the end of the first lap and went to the intermediate times as well as Nelly and Jason side by side. Interesting call that for those two going to the intermediate.
Even R had that crash earlier, so maybe he's thought, I'll get rid of the wets, it looks as if it's going to dry up, and go to the intros and hang on for a couple of laps. He's got the boost to help him. run the intermediates, well, these guys have got a bit more. Oh, nearly! I don't know if it was a bit of lag or what, but looked like a jump to the side and a punt. Yeah, so we let these guys in the wet tyres burn them up.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. Okay, the pack getting very busy now. We have Jason Ridge Blues back in Twilight. Is Nelly's trying to let Jason back through? I think he's just using the low line.
Oh, yeah, it was there's a 3 wide, 4, not 3. That was close.
That was very close. Okay, D&R then. Oh, it's slippery. Okay, taking the higher line, so make the move on Twilight. But I think you might be right with the wet tyres. So if this track starts to rain wet and dry up a bit more, you will very clear. But actually,
it's 3 cars.
Yeah.
He's hungry like wolf.
Absolutely. Oh, is that another where song?
No.
Alright. Whose song is that then? Oh, it was just a genuine, you made a second. Very nice. Okay, yeah, so the intermediate tyres working for Team Dahl then. And I think you might be right, so if the weather sort of continues easing upwards on the pack gap, Steve F1 right behind SRI, going to go for the move, it's now on the main screen. No, pump drafting. Okay, now why would he pump draft and not go for the move?
Maybe he wants it in the turn 2, maybe try and keep up power SGP that wee bit further back. Because if these two battle, then they two are going to catch him.
Yeah.
As we're 3 wide into turn 2.
That is just ahead.
Oh, Rich!
I think he just got it slowed down in time. Yeah, I also think for Steve F1, yeah, bump drafting SRI down the straight might be a good idea as D-Bar trying to make the move on Jason. Rich will have the grip around the outside. Jason will have the grip here, but I think D-Bar's got the grip on this next corner. Yeah, so for Steve F1, if he can kind of see that RPAL and SGP have been working together, he kind of needs to bump draft SRI to keep it a 1v1 battle.
Yeah. I don't want it to become a 4-way battle.
Oh, Pop's too high, he's up on the barrier, that's killed the speed. That's what we saw Demon R do earlier on. Yeah, look, he's now dropped back. He may be too far away to get through.
SGP won't have his wingman, so if Steve F1's clever, he can keep pushing SRI and him away from SGP. Yeah. And then maybe before the pit stop attack and get the pit stop done.
Well, possibly. Now Jason has bumped after Demon R all the way down the main straight to try and help stay ahead down towards turn 2. Will that have worked for Jason? Let's keep an eye on the moisture gauge as well as we see the weather radar. And yeah, the weather is easing up. I think the tricky thing with the weather and the intermediate tyre is, okay, the weather right now is easing up, but if it then rains again quickly, the intermediate tyre won't be good enough. And Gary slides on the racing line, on the slippy bit, into Jason. Let's see, Jason manages to just hold on. We see Jason's car moving about a little bit as well. I mean, it's not seriously bad, right? And that's something we can talk about, actually. Well, I'm glad it maybe. Okay, we're back in the form.
Let's see what happens when we get in. Yeah, they're keeping it nice and cool. Who's that at the back of the Rich? It's Twilight. Yeah. So Twilight, if he gets a decent run, he might be able to make up a couple of places. I think Twilight's
You've gone for the pits, yeah, I think he's with the intermediate time. There's no way you can go for a slick to RPAL in the pits as well. I think RPAL might be reacting partly to the fact that that gap through between himself and SGP. So pit now, put the inters on, be on the right time, the right condition. And from what we've seen from Demon R, that the inters are kind of potentially the right tyre. Jason's on wets. Gary's on inters. Gary, come inside, it's slippery down there though.
You can see some of the guys using the higher line, and the ones that don't really get on to practice, they're using the kind of low line. So hopefully after a few, well, it's been 10 laps now, but after a few laps we can click on and go, let's try the high line.
Absolutely. And it is difficult when you're side by side. Okay, look at the pack cam. And Steve F1 bump drafting SRI before the final corner. That makes sense because you don't want to get side by side down the straight here. But also, the gap between them and SGP has now opened up. So I think Steve F1 will have been SRI heading to the pits. But I think Steve F1 had been bump drafting SRI more than we saw. And with SGP losing his slipstream partner, we're able to open that gap up. Now, what time is SRI and Critical going to go to? I mean, it's too soon for the slicks. Look, it's still wet.
There is a bit of dry, but even on that whole line, it looks a wee bit poo damp. Look at the, he's on intermediates, but even look at his weather, moisture gauge is quite high up.
Yeah, that is. I mean, okay, if he'd have put slicks on, yes, he'd have a bit of boost right now. Oh, there's another little bit of weather appearing on the radar. That's what I was on about earlier, like if it was to rain again. So if anyone did go to the slicks, risk going for the slicks, you may have rain coming in the very near future. So Gary, having put the inters on early, runs a little wide, but is legitimately in 5th place at the moment.
Yeah, do you think that's why SRI put the intermediates on and not go for slicks? Because we know SRI would take a gamble for slicks at any time. The Jackie's seen that, and when it could be raining, I'll just put the inters while it's still damp.
Maybe. I actually think it might be more of a case of though, looking at the conditions of the racetrack. Although, sort of on the pack cam, that dry line is getting drier. But the nature of this circuit, if you dip a wheel on the damp parts, on the slicks, you're just going to be smashing the barriers. Gary's hunting for moisture though, which is the right thing to do on the intermediate tyres. And SRI now on the back of Rich Blues, who has not pitted yet. Wow, SRI up into the barriers. Oh, and makes it over. Is that an illegal overtake?
Has he made the overtake yet?
Yeah, it's
Okay, now Arpal pitted a lap before SRI and making a move. Look at that moisture gauge. It's drying pretty quickly in some areas. It's really dry there. Not there. That's still. That Steve F1's gone a little higher. Look how wet that is. If you were on a slick tyre and you went up there, you're in the back. Okay. Yes, they are. Is Demon R going for the pits? No, Demon R isn't. Okay.
So these guys going to go slicks since the radar looks clear now?
Maybe, but you know what, with Demon R being on the intermediate tyre and not pitted then, would kind of suggest to me the track isn't ready for a slick tyre. Hayes intermediates are burning up a little bit, and nearly chopped off Gary's nose. Now if Hayes been sort of sticking to that drier line a bit more, he could burn his tyres up. Gary's been on his tyres since the end of lap 1, and his aren't burning up yet. So, yeah, working for Gary right now. I didn't see what tyres Steve F1 or SGP went to, but I think Steve F1 he hasn't jumped SGP, he will be ahead of Gary.
Before the pit stops.
Gary trying to make the move on Hay here, a little bit of contact. Artpal's come round the outside of SRI. I was having a look at the inside of Hay. I don't think Gary knew that there was 2 cars to the side of him there, which is close to the barrier up there though. Oh dear, that's going to kill his speed. I would say for Artpal.
Yeah.
Oh, Demon R is in the pits and Steve F1 is on the hard tyre.
So him and SJP, the first ones to go on the hard tyres.
No.
No, Jason went on.
Jason was on the hard side. I think Jason had already gone a lap earlier. We didn't see him pit. I mean, I said on the previous lap, even though I was on the inside, he didn't pit, so he didn't think it was time for slicks. Now he has gone slick, so maybe his SRI's intermediate front right is nearly dead. I don't know if that'll make this next lap.
Yeah, I guess SRI's strategy's gone out the window because he needs to pit again, doesn't he?
Well, yes.
So that could be a help for Team R.
Well, yeah, interesting that one. But also, I mean, you know what, Steve F1 is actually not that far behind now, so the slick tyre, I think it's working, you know, definitely working at this point. But also for SRI, if you just see his tyres again, he has to pit, because I did hear from some of the practice that the front left tyre can still be alive. As Steve F1's up high on the damn bit into the barrier. Now it's spinning. Oh, nearly killed Jason and SGP. Oh, well.
SRI and Art Pal in the pits as well.
So and
Probably
Nelly.
a big punch. Jesus.
Yeah.
Half the grid.
The thing is, though, they've all got in the pits, I'm guessing, for the slick tyres when Steve F1, the current champion, has just had a massive spin on the slick tyres. And Formula Gary now leading the race on a set of intermediate tyres he's had on since lap 1. How have Gary's tyres not died when SRI's have?
I think SRI was ragging them.
Well, that's one way of putting it. I think you could be absolutely right. Okay, so Art Pow on the hard tyre, right behind SRI. Who's that? Right behind Nelly. It's right behind us as well. So you know, I mean, looking at the moisture gauge.
Jason get the lead?
Yes, he has. Yeah, Gary was leading, but Jason is now leading. Camera crew have not picked that one up. Oh dear. How could the camera crew not be following Gary when he was leading? You know, I wonder if his tyres died on that lap. It's quite possible because everybody now, I think, is on the hard tyre. And as we've seen at previous races, not a bit of like that, but yeah, if you can stay on that narrow band of the drier part of the track, you'll be okay.
He nearly got close to Rich Blue's arms.
Yeah, and getting very close to him now as well. He's looking a little high. Is SRI and Art Pal. SRI past Rich Blues, close behind Steve F1. So Steve F. Oh, hey, wow, Nelly! What a spin that was!
Oh, no one bites the dust there, Nelly. Jesus.
Yeah. Wow, I mean, that was a rapid spin. Luckily, though, it probably won't have hurt the tyre too much because he was on the wet bit when he spun. Okay, now, Jason's tyres, the front, we should see this on most car things, a bit of an offset of flare from the left to the right. Yes, we see it with critical here as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a few drivers trying to get that right-hand tyre into the damp bit on the straights. That's all right. Don't want to be up there. Can he stay out of the barrier? I don't know, but he definitely lost a load of time. He might have to send a message to Steve. I want to say this is how you do it when you end up with high.
Yeah, I think.
Whoa!
What's going on?
Oh dear!
Crickle's been spinning to Africa.
And he has. These have got to be some titles. There's no way we would just randomly come up with spinning to Africa. I'm not going to Google it either. I refuse.
It's alright. Oh, roots.
Oh, yeah, got a bit slippy, slid up to Art Pal.
He's waiting for something.
He's waiting for pretty cool. I'm wondering if there was perhaps a bit of an overlap of the cars when one like tried to pass another and pull in front or tuck in behind. Obviously we didn't really see it. Arpal trying to go round the outside. You can still be the faster line as long as you're not on the damp bit. Now I was going to mention a moment ago about seeing drivers trying to cool that right hand side down. I would expect to see that on the straights, maybe around turn 1, but nowhere else on the track really. But also, you mentioned earlier about SRI's pit stop for the exits to the slicks might not work for him. But he is right behind Steve F1, and Steve F1 was the leader of the race.
Yeah.
Oh no, that was before Steve spun, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was before he spun, yeah.
Oh,
Like he took the lead of the race when SRI went for inters.
okay, 3 wide. Oh, is that Arcade trying to make the move? Yes, it is, up the inside. You want to be on the inside into turn 2 at the moment. This is what we actually talked about last week, wasn't it? Where turn 2, the fastest way round that corner is that high line. But as this track drives, you cannot take the slick tyre around that high line. It is just too wet, same as the final corner. Okay, so Jason's leading, SGP second, Twilight in third. So the front 3 now, these guys on slick tyres. This is so completely different from the front 3 to what we have. Oh no, Twilight! Can he stay out of the barrier? He has, well.
Can't. It's not that way. It wasn't that way up there. I watched the monster cage. It wasn't that way where he was. So, is it time to use that higher line? Who knows? But Steve F1 going for the dam. SRI. He's not going for the dam.
No, he's not. Maybe just staying off him at the moment. So Rich Blues did kind of go down a bit. Is Arpal going to work with SRI at the moment? Sort of working well with SGP early, but then, you know, oh, Demon R on the back of Twilight now. So I don't think that high line's the faster line breakers. I think it costs Twilight time. So yeah, Demon R making the move around the outside. So for SRI in the championship battle, it hasn't worked so far, the strategy. He's just ahead of this battle now. Nelly attacking Arpal. Arpal getting a better exit here. Really getting the foot down. Yeah. See, looking at the pack cam, that higher line through that final corner is still too wet, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks at it's just when I looked at he's back up there. That's him, isn't it?
No, that's Gary. Yeah, I don't think he wanted to be there either. Okay, Steve F1 cooling tyres, SGP way off in the distance, cooling tyres as well. And look at the difference in the wear rate. That could be a key factor. But as I was trying to say earlier as well, from some of the drivers in practice, you can run with the front right tyre completely dead, as long as the life in the front left, as Nelly makes the move on Arpal. Maybe a little nudge up high. He's okay though, for now. There's a different behind him. Yeah, so
I think he got SRI as well. He got SRI as well.
Yeah, he did. Oh no, Nelly's in the barrier now. Oh, okay, it's too wet on that high line round turn 2, that's for certain. Okay, so, oh, Jason, a little bit right there, but that is okay at the moment. So, if the drivers can run the tyres with the front right a little dead and the life at the left, from what I was being told, you can do that, but you lose about 3 seconds of lap time. Yeah, you might be better off not running a dead.
As we see SGP in the slipstream of Jason. So he's going to cool down his tyres.
And make a move.
Coming ahead at front of Jason, yeah.
Yeah, well, the lower line into...
Is Jason going to go for his
switch back.
He's not going to get it.
SGP's coming up.
Too far back.
Yeah, well, and cooling his tyres again. Yeah, so the faster entry into 1 is the lower line, but you have to be careful mid-corner. An exit is so easy to run high for a car behind to switch back. You SRI under an enormous amount of pressure now from his VR. That's too wet up there. Yeah, that's definitely not worked for Nelly. I mean, something you could say though is really you kind of expect the higher line to dry before the racing because the water should fall down the track.
Or it should have got sprayed up when people were using it.
Interesting point. Yeah. The inches of wet would have been sending the tyres out there. Okay, Nelly has been passed now by Critical and Art Pow. I think the car's going to end up high here. Critical manages to hold on. We've got Jason and Demon R into the pits. We've not seen the weather radar, so I don't think it's for a change of compound. Art Pow in the pits as well as we're 3 wide now. Gary, Nelly and...
See if Andy tries to keep somebody on the wet part. Is that Gary? I think it's behind. No, say it's behind Nelly. It's down on that wet patch. It's okay until you want to hit the brakes. When you hit the brakes on the wet, that's you're gone.
Yeah, absolutely.
You see Marty Pello getting on the back of SRIs.
See that Marty Pello is the lead singer of Wet, Wet, Wet. I know that much.
Yeah.
Yeah, making it. Oh, damn it!
It's too wet. So SRI will need to position his car so that if anybody wants to go round them, they go on the wet.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's a good way to defend in these conditions. Like, yeah, okay, you want to pass me, go for it, but you're gonna have to go on the wet a bit. Because at the moment it's treacherous as on the pack cam, Art Pow. Oh, yeah. See now, Rich didn't do anything wrong there. Rich was a little slow, but stayed on the dry bit, and Art Pow will take it back. Although, I don't know if Rich is late through.
I wouldn't let him through, Rich.
Nah, keep going. Okay, hey, into the
yeah, if you're in front and you're a little bit slow, it's up to the other driver to get round you without near enough contact. I don't know if there was contact, it looked like it, but from the camera angle, but it might have not been. As we see Nelly, Critical having a good wee battle here.
Yeah, with got a little his front right tyres taking a bit of punishment. So, I mean, it's interesting at the moment that again. I mean, obviously every lap that someone did go wide. Was it a yellow car?
Nelly.
Was it Nelly?
Must have been Nelly.
Yes, it was.
Yes. Yeah, because Gary's got him.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so Jason and David R on a brand new set of hard tyres. Twilight on a brand new set of hard tyres as well. Art Power on a brand new set of hard tyres. Rich Blues on a fairly new set of hard tyres. 8 on a brand new set of tyres. SGP's front right then. So Steve.
He's going to get the tyres to the end, the ones that have just got new set.
No.
Are we going to get the tyres to the end from here?
I don't think so. We've got 13, 14 laps to go. So I'm going to have to try and count fingers. I don't think, well, they've not just done a 14 lap stint, have they? So I think those that have just pitted are not getting to the end. And I think those that, like SGP, Steve F1, SRI, have got the front. If they hit this lap, I don't know if they'll get to the end. Gary's going to need to stop again. Okay, this is kind of critical, or it's not critical, but crucial situation for Jason and Demon R right now. Oh, there's weather on the radar.
Oh, is that going to entail?
See, everything you say now, I'm thinking, you come up with words you've never used before.
I just said entail.
Exactly. The only time you say a word that's got tail in it is usually sexual to the wife. It's not about oh, there's yellow in that rain. Oh, okay.
That could be a Blue Monday. so people get it wrong.
See, that's a song lit. I know that. Just know. There's no way you would just say a Blue Monday. Apart from the fact that we race on Mondays and it's a little blue when it's raining. But no, that's a song. That's a song. I'm not having it. Okay, Jason and Gary battling. Now, if the weather comes in, it could work well. Or Jason on the damn
Oh,
bit.
just
A little bumpy. Yeah, it could work well for those up at the front if rain comes in just in time for their tyres dying. Jason going slightly lower line. May get a good exit here. Look at Demon R right behind him as well. Doesn't look like Demon R's really sort of trying to attack Jason as Jason gets a little sideways. He's going for it up the inside. A little touch.
can you feel it, Gary?
That's not me that the man. Every time we touch, you screw it with my head here.
I'm not doing anything. I'm just commentating.
Yeah.
I've had a couple of drinks, so the words are coming out.
You've had about an hour before commentary to sit there on your computer going, oh, song limits I can find. There's SGP into the pits, SRI into the pits. Anybody else into the pits?
Gary?
Where's Steve F1?
I don't know, he must have pit. Is he pitted as well?
I'm thinking he might have pitted the lap before, but we may not have seen it.
Well, they get to the end. How many laps till the end? 12?
13 laps to get to 12 laps to get to the end, maybe. Okay, so Jason is now net leader of this race. Stephen R second place. Harpalter, Jason's in the barrier. Wow. Okay, so Stephen R leading the race. Harpalter second place. Twilight in third. Jason in fourth. 12 laps. Okay, and now we know how long it took Ray to count to 12.
I had to use my fingers.
Alright. Okay, so yeah, looking at the where.
Nose.
I thought you were going to say no, it was just I've got 12 toes, all critical on the pack cam, is out on the damn bit, you don't want to be out there. Yeah.
Could have been worse, I could have said 2 testicles. I've only got one.
Have you? I'm going to say, if you've only got one testicle, then you've got an extremely powerful testicle. The thing is, I do know people that have only got one ball. So it is obviously a situation that can happen. Okay, so Nelly on the back of hay here, bit of bump drafting. You know what? I'm liking this. This is it's the way to.
This is the perfect way to go.
Bump draft. Oh, that's not. Oh dear. Look, there's Steve F1. Okay, so Steve F1 gets ahead of SGP and now making a move on Nelly. Nelly got a little high with his friends. That's sometimes. Okay, a little help from my friends.
Oh yeah, so it's, but you missed out the little hill.
Yeah.
So it's not up title.
Well.
Oh, Jason and Twilight side by side for third place.
Yeah, that.
Twilight having a good race, hasn't he? He's been up down, hasn't he?
That he has. Jason, look on the inside. You know what? That not dry, like that higher line, looking a lot drier now. It's still got a bit of grease on it, but it's looking a bit dry. I don't know. We haven't really seen anybody successfully using the higher line yet. I mean, yeah. So looking at Twilight, I mean, he's trying to put his tyres back. Oh my days, look at this for a
and people try and kill their tyres. Rich Blue's get the. It's a more light, so he may get a run on these guys. Nice.
We've got SGP making a run on him. Steve F1 made the move on Nelly on the lower line. Jason, Twilight's back ahead of Jason. No, staying ahead of Jason, sorry. Yeah, busy on the pack cam with that battle further back. Someone went high and the grip wasn't there. So I think the high line from 2 is still not dry enough. But yeah, okay. I mean, since we've got 2 kind of battles going on. The front 4 here with Jason and Twilight, 3rd and 4th.
Who was spinning out there, but getting done.
Yeah. I don't think the front four can get to the end. I think they've got to pit again. And I don't think this next pack of cars can get to the end either.
Yeah, it's getting busy in this pack here. Look at that. This is going to be interesting. We're going to see MD use the high line. Hayes went up high, he hit the wall.
He did, yeah. He did.
Oh, he's bounced back now.
Well, I don't think he wanted the high line. He slid up to the high line and hit the wall early. So yeah, bounced off. I don't think he's ready yet, but I don't think it'll be long until we see someone trying it. It's Nelly. It's bump that is Steve F1. He's going that. I'll have the high line. Steve F1 will have the faster line on the way in, but it's from his point. See, Steve F1. Oh, S2P.
Oh, S2P. Where did he come from?
His mom. So he didn't have the fastest of exits. Oh, Nelly on the high line. Oh, he's nearly there.
Yes. Critical and SRI side by side. SRI's good past SGP. SGP was battling with Nelly and Steve F1.
You know why? Being on that 3 wide and lower line, he got faster entry into that first corner. Exactly, and that slowed him down a lot more. Steve F1 have that little wobble mid corner, and that's what
Tyler's has been getting
they're not on.
Tyler, he's got we've got 7 laps to go after he crosses the line.
No, well, yes, but he's in the pits, so is Arpel. So is Twilight. Jason leads the race, and then we've got this battle. We've got 8 laps to go, including this one. Yeah, I don't think these guys' tyres are going to make it. Steve F1 and Nelly battling once again. We're actually bump drafting a little bit on this occasion. Critical giving SRI a little bump draft as well. Oh, you know what? I think Jason's tried the high line, and I don't think it worked.
Any clutches, has it?
Yeah.
There?
Yeah. Interesting. I'm wondering, whether he may have seen in his mirrors a couple of cars trying the high line or being on the high line, and thought, you know what, now's a good time to try it, because he's probably going to have to pit again anyway. I want to see someone intentionally try the high line around the final corner, because if you can make that stick, you can gain about, oh, here we go, Nelly. It's dry enough. Although...
Oh, he's bumped Steve F1 mid-corner, so...
I think he bottomed it a bit mid-corner. He didn't go sort of stay up as high as I would like to see. Critical went up there, and I think he had the grip. Okay, so... Yeah, let's keep an eye on things, especially on the pack cam. SRI, Nelly side by side. Right, go Steve F1. Jason has entered. So this now the battle for the lead of the race, but again, I think the front 4 here have got to pit again. Breathe in.
Breathe in, free wide, sorts itself out.
Yep.
That's alright, was higher.
Yeah.
It's
it's not worked out faster. I mean, it's there, but it hasn't gained. There's Twilight battling on the pack. Oh, big smack! Oh, Nelly, get into pits, mate. I was thinking of something that back up. Get dry your eyes, mate, to really match up to it. Dry your tyres, mate. Okay, Steve F1 leading the race. Critical, he's taking that high line, but coming back down mid-corner. It's dry enough up there. I think they've got to go for it. Commit to it. You'll gain so much more time. And on the pack cam, Twilight is up high.
So yes.
Okay, right. Now Demon R is in 4th place now with the fresher set of tyres. Okay.
How far away? Right, yes, 10 seconds.
He's just exited the first corner now. Okay, Critical trying that higher entry, going for a switch back though. think he could hang it up the house. Okay, Demon R's gone for the high line on the pack cam just then. Around turn 2, it is doable. SGP is making a move onto a high line. See, if these three perhaps haven't realised that that high line is ready, and Demon R has, he could be gaining rapidly now. Okay. Use the high line, boys. Use the high line. SRI.
8 seconds.
8 seconds. See, okay.
What?
Criticals used it on that occasion better. So it's 8 seconds back to Demon R with, what, 6 laps to go, including the one we're going to have crossing the line. I don't think Critical's tyres are going to make 6 more laps. I don't think Steve F1s or SRIs are either. Steve F1s, I think, were actually more tired than SRIs, but he pitted a lap earlier. Okay, now for those that have pitted, obviously they can push a little bit more. Let's see, they're not going to use the high line.
There's Demon R in the background.
Yeah, I'd love to see. So neither of these three committing to that higher line yet. I didn't see Demon R used it, but I'm going to guess he did. Because I think that gap is closing in and there isn't any boost for him at the moment. I think we're going to see SRI go for the high line on this occasion. I think you've seen Critical do it. And this is the thing, if you've seen someone else do it and not crash, you've got to try it yourself, haven't you?
Yeah. He's pulling out, he's putting himself into the lower line. Is he...
See Critical's...
Critical's using it more than these two.
Yeah.
These two need to start using it.
Absolutely. Okay, Critical heading to the pits. I think he knows his tyres aren't going to make it, so Steve F1. Yeah, everybody in the background are using the high line. I think mid-corner, I think SRI and Steve F1 saw Critical using that high line and it worked. And mid-corner let the car drift up. Now, there's obviously a few benefits of doing that. One is it doesn't hurt your tyre as much because you don't have to steer as much, and another is you can go around the corner a lot faster. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see at least one of these two use the high line. Yeah, SRI, look, high line into 2. Didn't use all of it, so maybe still a bit cautious. Demon R was all the way round the top.
Yeah.
So it's twilight.
This is going to bring that pack onto these two. SRI's got the place.
Oh yeah,
He's went down. Now does Steve F1 after using that high line.
Yeah, look how close Stephen R is now. And look how close SRI's tyre, front right tyre is to falling off the rim. I don't know what you do in this situation. I mean, Demon R...
SRI's not using it as much as they should be. They are losing a lot of time to Demon R.
Absolutely. I think Steve F1's heading to the pits. Hey, on the pack camps, just tagged the back of Gary, give him a bit of a boost. Okay, so championship leaders now, first and second. Steve F1 in the pits. I think that might be too late to gain much. But I mean, mentioned earlier though, Ray, about the front right tyre. You can keep running, maybe lose 3 seconds a lap. But I don't think it's going to work for SRI or would it work for Critical and Steve F1 as SGP making the move on. Oh, Pearl, big slide. I don't think it would have worked because of that there. The pack is so close. I mean, I don't know what the gap is currently between SRI and Twilight, but 3, 6, 9, 12. If it's less than 12 seconds, you can lose 3 seconds a lap. You're not staying there.
SGP looking for wet. He's looking for the wetness round that corner. He was quite wide, but he's getting a better run on our pal. But then this is going to put him on that inner line. Our pal can go round outside. No, he can't.
Well, are we going to see what we saw from these two?
Okay, leaders.
Yeah, very
Demon R's flashing.
Letting SRI know he's there. So, but is Arco and SGP going to work together again? It appears. SGP's front right tyres knackered, and he pitted a lap after Demon R. So I think he's been hammering his you know what? The way he went into the final corner will be doing damage, going in on the lower line to going quick. But mid-corner, oh, look at how high they are. See, that is, I think Demon R showing, yeah, he's been running that high line since he hit it pretty much. He knows what he can do now.
Yeah, we're on penultimate lap. It's coming into the final countdown.
Where's that cow?
What count?
The one that just went.
It came from your end. you got burnt.
Okay, so yeah, SRI's tyre, front right tyre is almost dead. Demon R, I mean, SRI got a little bit deep into the S's, so Demon R manages to get ahead. SRI now using that higher line as well. He's still there with the slipstream, but look at the pack out. Nelly, who is behind Twilight. Twilight's got a little bit of a gap, but then Nelly's got Rich, Jason, and everybody else right behind him. I can't go through the list because I can't see. Nelly going to break the slipstream, go for a bit of cooling. SRI's gaining back on Demon R. We're on the last lap of the race and we've not even got any jokes in. Oh, here's one. SRI's going to lead the race again.
It's all or nothing for SRI now.
Oh, just a little high. Okay, he's on the lower line. Yeah. So much more grip. Oh, SGP was way too high. Look at the back cam. Holy guacamole. Oh, Jason got up high. I don't know if it was assistant.
No time.
Yeah, no time. Also, low on fuel. You know, I've never really mentioned that. The first race where fuel kind of got a bit close, or could have got close. Pal, going to go round the outside. SPP's front right tyre. He's gone. Nelly and Jason side by side, and it's busy behind them still. I don't think that's all right to do anything about Demon R through the final corner. It's too big of a gap. Oh, look at how much time SGP's losing here. He's going to get caught by the pack. Demon R coming down the main straight. It is going to be victory then for Demon R here at the high-speed ring. SRI holds on for second place. What a race for him. Done well there. Arpal, SGP is coming under pressure from Twilight. He manages to hold on and then him. Wow, what a race. Oh, what a race. Bloody hell.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh dear. Wow. Oh, right, let's take a breath. Oh dear. You're quite handy with computers, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know a bit about computers, which is good. Because what are them things called that you stick in a computer? A hard drive. That was a hard drive. But yeah, that was, it's the first race we've had in this championship where it hadn't rained again. We saw a couple of hints of the weather radar with weather sort of in and around, but it didn't materialise. Didn't get to the racetrack. Thankfully, we didn't see anybody gambling on anything like a set of inters or anything, which in the circumstances we just had there, there's no way. Once you've had slicks on and you can get around that track, there's no reason you'd put inters on. Thankfully, the drier line, while it was still damp around the edges, was wide enough for cars to still go a couple wide, which has allowed for some brilliant racing around there. SRI's done extremely well to make his tyres last, because we saw with SGP he did a fairly shortish stint on his last set of tyres and killed them. So for SRI to do that stint, he's done extremely well. Artpal though, I've got to say, I mentioned it early on, around a track like that, bump drafting is your friend. It can help you avoid being attacked from behind. It helps you go faster going forwards. It just works. It works so well. And Art Powell doing that early on, and even perhaps a bit in the last few laps, has really helped him get that third place. But also, Art Powell did a much longer stint on those tyres than SGP did. So the way that he was driving the circuit may not have been as fast as SGP was, but it was much better for the tyres. So yeah, I've got to say, brilliant race for him there. You know, did I?
Especially when when was his last race? Was his last race last season, or was it the first race of this season?
He raced first of this season, then missed. He was in last week's race.
Was it?
Yeah.
I can't remember the last week's race.
Yeah, last week's race he finished 8th. I am gonna share the race result pre any potential penalties with you. And then we can just have a little chat about it. Because to be honest, I was about to say, like, mention about the drivers that finished like 5th down, but I've no idea what order they finished in because of how close they were. So we'll have a look at an unconfirmed race finish. Now, admittedly, when this comes out, we will now know if there's any penalties to be applied or not, but as we're talking about it, we don't know. So in a few moments, once we know, I will confirm it. So Demon R, after 2 laps, it kind of looked like Demon R was out of this race. Going to the intermediate tyre when he did worked. And it's the thing is, we've seen Steve F1 do it. Was it Suzuka, or was it was it Fuji? There was one of the other races where he had a crash early on, so pitted early because he was at the back. Pitted early, went for the inters, and with the boost, it allows you to you have a bit of extra grip, so you can get through that really wet bit, and then help with the boost and catch back up. And then if the track dries up too much for the wets but isn't dry enough for the slicks, you're in a brilliant situation, as what would appear for Demon R. But having said that, the slicks, I don't think the slicks lasted anywhere near as long as drivers were expecting them to, because 3 pit stops or 3 sets of slick tyres put on for Demon R, for Art Powell, for Twilight, Jason, SGP. So in a season like this where we've had 4 races where it's rained, dried up, rained again, deciding if you are going to pit again for slicks is a painful decision to make, because how many times the viewers won't have heard this, but the amount of times in this championship where SGP has pitted for slicks and comes out of the pits, and then rain's on its way, and it's not that he hasn't looked, it's literally he's come out of the pits and then rain has appeared on the radar. So if that situation had happened for the likes of Demon R, Art Powell, Formula Gary, who pitted at the end of lap 1, for Jason, who I think went first for the slicks, maybe. If that rain had come, that would have killed their strategy, because the likes of SRI, SGP, Steve F1, who were on that, they went longer on the wet tyre. Well, no, SRI went to the inters, didn't he? So, 2 Steves stayed on wets, SRI went to inters, so I had to pit again. But then went longer on the slick tyres, did SRI. So if the rain had come, that would have favoured the Steves and SRI more, because they would have effectively done 1 pit stop left. So when SGP did his pit stop and Steve F1 with 4 laps to go, if there'd have been rain and they'd have been able to switch to an inter, they would have, it'd have been a very different race, but that's not the case. Okay. Art Powell, great race to finish 3rd. SGP was 3rd, finished 4th. Twilight, what a race he's had. He was running up in the top 3 and 4 for quite a lot of that race, wasn't he?
Yeah. Had a good wee time up there, didn't he? Well, he only if he was third at one point, so
Yeah,
to come home fifth is still quite a good
yeah, good.
battle. I can't remember what tyres. Did he go inters early or did he go from wets to slicks? I think he went. Did he pit? Who pitted the same time as Demon? Roughly. Was it Twilight?
No, no one pitted. Twilight may have pitted a lap after.
Yeah.
No one pitted at the same lap when, like, because Gary pitted end of lap 1, Demon R pitted end of lap 2. I'm not sure if Twilight went for the inters or not. I'm not sure. I can't remember. It's such a busy race. I'm trying to think back and I'm just seeing loads of headlights in the mist. But yeah, I mean, he was legit running up in third until he got a little high in the final corner just before it was ready for using that high line. So good race. Jason, 6th place. I mean, he was leading the race on a couple of occasions. Unfortunate. I mean, there was a bit of contact between himself and Gary. I don't know if there was much in that. It's a bit hard to see from the view we had. But then a lap later, he got up high at 2. And when he went up high at 2, interestingly, that would have let everybody behind him know that could see him. Yeah, turn 2's not ready for the high line. I don't think Jason was wanting it. I think he just went in a bit hot and ended up there. But 6th place for him, really good. Critical, 7th place. He was in the battle for the top 3 at one point as well. But, oh, excuse me, that last stint, his tyres just... excuse me, I'm kind of talking, burping, hiccuping. Oh, all at the same time.
Coughing and splotting.
Yeah. So his tyres just went off a bit too much, and so he had to pit again with about 5 laps to go, didn't he? I mean, it's unfortunate for him because pitting at that point, there was other cars that had pitted only a lap or 2 before, so they'd got a bit of boost, jumped him a bit, but also had good tyres to the end, so he ended up in a right battle up to the end. Steve F1, 8th place. What happened to... Oh, Steve had to pit. He pitted, didn't he, with a... What?
3 laps to go, 4 laps to go.
Yeah, I think he went in with, like, 4 laps to go, came out with 3 laps to go, something like that. Yeah, so similar situation for Steve F1. Too much to try and do at the end there. Formula Gary, what a race he's had. In the wars a little bit, but went for the intermediate tyres at the end of lap 1, and I don't know if anything happened to him on lap 1 that made him think, oh, you know, I'll just go and shut the inters on, or if he just thought, you know what, my strategy here is going to be, at the end of lap 1, I'm going to put the inters on, and if it works for me, great, and if it doesn't, it's not a problem, because he'll catch the pack back up, and then he'll know if it's going to have worked or not. But interesting, though, that Gary made his intermediate tyres last considerably longer than many others on the intermediates. And that could be simply because he was searching for the wet patch much more.
Yeah. Steve F1 pitted in lap 35.
Oh, so went in on 35. No.
Yeah, well, went in 34, came out 35.
Yeah, so came out with 3 laps to go, 35, 36, yeah, 35, 36, 37.
Yeah, there's not enough time to make up the places, even with the boost. You're looking about, what, 5 laps?
Yeah, especially with the drier track. I mean, obviously, like, if people were on inters and you've gone for slicks and it's the right time, you could gain so much time. But when everyone's on slicks, I mean, the most you're going to gain is about 6 seconds a lap, and you're going to need a good 4 or 5 laps to... Well, you're going to need 4 or 5 laps to sort of catch the pack. Well, 3 laps to maybe catch the pack, another 2 to try and get your way through it. By that, it's not enough. So, tough one for Steve F1.
And Nelly, he just couldn't get enough of the barriers, could he?
I mean,
Two
Nelly.
big massive crashes.
Well, he progressively crashed into the barriers at a slower rate throughout the race. One of the crashes he had, he was spinning so fast I couldn't actually tell it was him at one point. I actually thought it was lag. Now, Nelly, I know Nelly was there for the practice. Now, interesting, we talked a little bit last week about, we're thinking, we believe that with more cars on track, the track dries up quicker. I'm 100% on that now, because the practice for this race, there wasn't many drivers on, and the practice session rain was the same as what we had at the start of this race, and it never dried up. It dried up to a point where, okay, you might think about going for slicks, but when you went for slicks, no, it was deadly. So with this race though, at the point where SRI went for the intermediate tyres, I mean, it was an interesting point in that race, wasn't it? Because SRI pitted for the intermediate tyres, and at that...
Wet weather coming in at that time, wasn't there?
True.
Well, it wasn't coming in, but it was there on. And...
Yeah. I mean, yeah, again, I mean, that's one. Had it rained, because it carried on raining, that would have been a blinder of a call. But one lap later, the Steve's pit for slicks. Now, for Steve F1, unfortunately, it didn't quite work out because he dipped a wheel and had a big crash, didn't he, on the exit of the final corner. But one lap after they pitted, Demon R pitted for slicks. So within 2 laps of SRI pitting, Demon R, who's ran the wets, ran the inters, has now chosen the slicks. So for SRI, it's unfortunate that it's one of those, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. But because the track had dried up a lot more than it did in the practice, I think that's what perhaps allowed Demon R to know for certain, okay, yeah, now I can go for slicks, because when it was practice, it didn't get this dry. So yeah, I'd always recommend to the drivers, if you can get on for practice, get on. Even if it's just to see what the track conditions like. And to be fair, even if you're available on another day other than a Thursday and you want to do some practice, drop us a message. If we can get on with you, we'll get on with you. Or someone, I'm sure someone somewhere will. Or even if you haven't got the settings, we can make sure you've got the lobby settings so you can get a bit of practice. Just bear in mind, if there's only one car on the track, it takes longer to drive. Yeah, so but cracking race.
Do you think the difference in the drying of the track caught Nelly out? Or do you think it was just the 2 crashes that kind of... I can't remember, it was lap 30 or 31. He had these final... well, what have we seen was his final crash just before the tunnel.
Yeah, you know what? I actually think the fact that Nelly was in the practice with us, I think that actually helped him more. So he would have known a slightly worse track condition. So when he was battling with Steve F1, I think he would have potentially been a lot more confident in that situation than Steve F1, because Nelly had an insight into what the track could be like, and it was better conditions for him. I think he's just massively unlucky with the crashes that he had, and at the end of the day, it only takes a little dip of the wheel, and yeah, you're a goner, as we saw for a couple of the drivers there. So I think it's just unlucky. Hay, interesting race for Hay. Saw him win quite a few battles, and I think we saw him slowing down at one point. I think it might have been for critical. But
yeah, that's when on the start-finish straight there was a big...
Yeah, don't exactly know what's happened on that one, do we?
Yeah, we couldn't see the camera angle was shite. Also blame the camera guy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah. Also,
we missed
Jason's
change of lead.
Yeah, I mean, Formula Gary legit leading the race, and the cameraman says, "No, I'm not having it."
He was too busy talking about cheesy sausages.
I think he actually was as well. Not a euphemism. It was. I'm gonna say it was from the wife.
No, it was his daughter.
I wasn't gonna say that, Ray, because that sounds even worse. But anyway, yeah. So, hey, a bit of an unfortunate one, I think, in the end. And Rich Blues had an interesting race because there were parts of that race where he was up around that 4th, 5th place, and he was always in the battle. And so he was in there making moves, and yeah, I like it. I mean, okay, he's finished 12th. Don't know if anything happened in the last couple of laps, but I've got to say, yeah, it looked like. Okay, it might sound bad to say, looked like he had a great race. I don't know for certain, but when we saw him, it's not like we saw him doing anything crazy, was it? So
No, and he wasn't just letting people past. I think there was once when Arpal hit the back of him, and he might have thought he'd done something wrong, but from what we could see, he was in front. Arpal took the corner a wee bit quicker. Arpal should have found his way around him, but like I say, he's always the most improved driver.
That's one way of saying it. He's so crap, he's always the most improved. Raymond.
No, I don't mean when he first came to the league, he would never battle him. He was just getting his feet in, and he'd get out the way instead of just digging in, and now he digs in. So that's the one thing I like about him now, that he's getting his feet in there. And
he's not afraid to attempt an overtake on anyone now. I mean, I have had him. I mean, it was last week at Suzuka. I think Rich did a brilliant move on me. I think he did one here actually as well. And it's one. I mean, some people may. I'm not saying people in our league, but some people out there in the world may look. Okay, so a Max Verstappen, for example, if he's got Alex Albon in a Williams trying to overtake him, he's going to be looking at that. What are you doing? What are you doing? Trying to overtake me? You're not good enough to try and overtake me. What are you doing passing me? You're ahead of me. What are you doing ahead of me? So someone like that is, yeah. So when I see Rich or Gary or Hay or any of the drivers actually doing a good move on me, I love it. I really do, because
unless it's a top 4 in the Drivers' Championship, and then you're like, you fucking bastard.
Hey, well, true. I said Rich Blues, Hay, Nelly, SRI, SGP, and Steve F1 can balls. No, I'm joking. To be fair, it's not always easy. It's never easy to be overtaken. I mean, okay, so for SRI in this race, obviously, it led the race for majority of it. Going into the last few laps, got a good chance of winning the race. Obviously, it's going to be frustrated, upsetting, annoying, being overtaken and not winning the race. So it is never nice to be overtaken. But if you're ever in the position to be on the other side of that, I mean, I know, like, for me, in this race, the fact that the fact that Demon won this race, it's kind of like, how the hell has he done that? But at the same time, in that battle for the win, there's also that thought process of, oh, you know, I feel like a right bastard here. Because SRI's had a brilliant race, and it's come down to the last 2 laps. But if it was flipped, I'd be gutted. But at the same time, I know I'd be like, yeah, go on. Come on then. I was going to say do me, but I shouldn't say that to you. Because you end up with one of SGP's daughter's most favourite foods. Not a cheesy sausage, no. Turns out she really likes onion rings. But
Spicy.
no. She takes the onions out, so all she's left with is a battered ring.
Jesus.
The thing is, I said that today in the pub without meaning anything rude. We were just chatting, and I was like, "Well, you know, taking the onion out because I don't like it. All you're left with is a battered ring." And I said it quite loud. Claire burst out laughing. It didn't help either that while Holly was taking the onions out, you know, like when you peel an onion out, and it's dangling. It looks a little bit like something. Yeah. You know exactly what. Yeah. Claire spotted it first, and she was like, "Nope." Anyway, so yeah, right, okay. But yeah, I gotta say, another brilliant race. For us to watch there, absolutely brilliant. Okay, what's the next track?
Seaside Gardens Reversed.
Oh yes. Tough track. Very tough track.
Yeah, you're crossing over the racing line. How many bloody times? You've got.
Yeah, a lot.
Is it a quadruple
Apex corner. Yeah. Might even be 5, but yeah, I think it's 4. Which get tighter and tighter.
A hairpin plus a tight chicane as well.
Yeah, and the section after the quadruple hairpin, which is right turn into left turn into right turn into left turn. So yeah, for any driver that is not up to speed with that track, it's going to be very much Marmite. It's going to be a tough one, that's for sure. I mean, even the first corner, which is
it could be Vegemite.
Could be. Yeah, so first corner, double apex, sort of big hairpin.
They'll hit the wall and turn into vegetables.
They definitely could. Oh no, they might do. Vegemite. I don't think it was that bad. But yeah, so yeah, it's gonna be a tough one. That's for certain. I mean, it's gonna be tough just getting to the pits when you might want to. Okay, quick question for you: what is the difference between a Canadian bee and an American bee?
Don't know.
Well, Canadian bees buzz a lot, and US bees you can plug into your computer.
Oh, right. I get it.
Yeah.
Hanging that bombshell, it's time to go and
see if anyone's got any penalties.
Oh, let's see. Well, there is one report and one late report, so the admins need to talk about the late report and deal with the report that is actually there. It's going to be.
Just quickly touch on this. So, obviously, we've changed days of racing, changed format a bit of how the league is run, and we used to have we race on a Thursday, and you'd have until Friday midnight to get a report in. Because of change of days, we now race on a Monday. And we've changed you can report an incident up to midnight of Monday. So one report it has come in the next day, which I think just means that person hasn't realised or hasn't remembered that the deadline has changed. So in that situation, Ray, someone puts in a late report, what happens?
Sit down and talk and decide, do we take it in and just say, look, this is a deadline. Any more that you put in after this deadline will not get seen to, and maybe put a reminder out to all the drivers as well.
Okay. Would the admins actually look at the incident to see what happened?
Depends on if they all agree,
Yeah, that's a good point.
or if they don't, and what the reason is for not.
Yeah, because I mean, if one of them was to look at it and go, well, if that had been reported on time, that would be a penalty, and another one says, yeah, but if
No,
it
no,
was
no,
reported
not
on
just.
time, I don't think it'd have been a penalty. Or do you mean agree that they should look at it?
Yeah, to look at it first, even to begin with,
Oh,
to take the report on and look at it. Because it's past the deadline, but because of the situation we're in, we've changed the day of the race. And,
well, I mean, I know that if it was okay, admin, should we accept this incident report and look at it from a steward's perspective? The answer is no, because it's late. It's coming late, so the answer is no. It wouldn't go as far as the stewards, that's for certain.
oh well, that's a thing we might have to talk. Is
But
that?
so we see that's the thing. You see, if one of us says, right, no, it's late, it doesn't go to the stewards, then it can't go to the stewards because we'd all have to agree. But obviously, we do have other options, like saying, obviously, there hasn't been a G spot for a long time. Unfortunately, I've just been way too busy. I mean, it sounds like I'm bragging, but I'm not. I have been looking after nieces, dogs, parents. So yeah, I've not had a lot of time at home.
SGP.
SGP, yeah. So doing a lot of yeah, I've been busy. So, but we do have the other option of okay, so going right. Okay, well this can't be stewarded, but what we can do is the admins could perhaps have a look at it and see if we all agree on what our view is on that, and then go right. There can't be any penalties applied, even if one would be deserving, because it's a late report. But what we can do is we could perhaps show it on the G spot and go, okay, this was a late report. It would have been a penalty because of this, but because it's late, there's no penalty applied. But it at least lets everybody know whether something that happens is allowed or not. So, but anyway, us admins will have a chat about that. So, if I'm able to do a G spot, yeah, we'll see. But obviously, yeah, we've got one report, so I should be doing a G spot for that. Although there was a report a few races ago, and I didn't get to do that. Okay, right, Ray. Just as we get ready to move on to those confirmations, I just want to confirm something to you, that if your wife ever asked you which of her friends you would like to have a threesome with, don't name two of them.
I don't know any.
Oh, Raymond. Is that because they're all munters, or because you're a proper gentleman?
A fucking proper gent.
Okay. Sorry, that was that not a joke? I know you're a gentleman, but yeah. Yeah. So if for advice for anyone, if your partner ever asks you which of her friends you would like to have a threesome with, don't pick two of them. You're meant to pick the partner as well. Anyway, right, let's then go and have a look at the confirmed race result and the championship standings, which will set the grid for the following race. Thank you, Ray. Okay, confirmation then of the race result, and it is what it is on the screen, and what it was on the screen. Okay, so I can't give all of the information because I don't have all of the information at the point of recording this. There were two reports placed. However, the first report was missing some key information, i.e. What time in the race the incident occurred. And one of the things that we do as stewards is we ask that when you place a report, you provide the timestamp on the replay, or at least the lap number,
so that we can go and find the incident straight away. Without that information, we could easily spend more time than we can afford to spend looking through the footage and wondering if what we found is the incident. So yeah, unfortunately, for the first report, the stewards have effectively rejected the report, or rejected rejected the report because they don't know where in the replay to look for the incident. Now, someone might say, well, it's obvious when it happened. But not always, and rather than... basically, we don't want to do one rule for one and one rule for another. So, yeah, needs the information, please, folks. And the second report, unfortunately, was placed 8 hours too late. Now, it's interesting though. We had one report placed within the time, but without the correct information, and one report placed out of time, but with all of the correct information. Now, with the one that has been placed late, because the deadline is Monday of the... sorry, it's not Monday. Well, it is. The deadline is midnight of the day of the race. So we race Mondays. Deadline is midnight Monday. It used to be midnight of the day after, which is where this driver's perhaps got a little bit confused. So yeah, but it's changed for the last couple of championships. Now, because it's late, again, the stewards have said we're not going to look at it because it's late. So what we've done is we've looked at that as admins because we know when to look at it, where on the footage to look, had a look at it, had a chat about it, to basically be able to say, had it been reported in time, this is probably what the outcome would be. And that is how we would go about if somebody places a report late. It's similar to if somebody asks for clarification. So I'm not placing a report, I would just like someone to let me know whether I did something wrong at this point, that kind of thing. So apologies that I'm being very vague, but yeah, there are reasons for that. Having the correct terminology is quite important, and I don't have the write-up of the steward's report at this moment in time. Okay, that having been said, let's take a look at what that confirmed result has done to the championship standings. So Demon R then, with that victory, opens up a little bit of a lead up at the front. 89 points for him, now 7 ahead of SRI in second place. SRI has opened that gap up to third place SGP, who's on 78 points. And then Steve F1, having to do that late pit stop, is still in fourth, but is dropping away a little bit now, 65 points for him. Jason has jumped above Nelly. I think Jason, yeah, he finished ahead of Nelly in this one, so he jumps up on 53 points. Nelly on 52 points, so still having a very good season, even though he did have a bit of a spinny one today. Twilight, 7th place, 44 points for him, so he's 8 behind Nelly, and he's 5 ahead of Hay, who has jumped above Rich Blues, I think. So Hay in 8th on 39 points, 1 point ahead of Rich Blues on 38 points. And he's 2 points ahead of Critical on 36 points. We've then got 3 points further back. Art Pal are in 11th place. Obviously missed a couple of races, I think race 2 and 3. So good result here has massively helped his points tally. He's now 6 ahead of Formula Gary, who also has missed a couple of races due to the amount of updates that GT has had recently. Jimmy in 13th place on 15 points, unable to make this week's race, which is a shame because it'd been interesting to see him going sideways around these corners, but there we go. Bob also has not been able to attend the circuit yet, and I did a bit of a shout out last week about we've got 2 seats available, and if anybody's interested in them, get in touch with the Dynamic GT League, and somebody has. Connor. He said he's he'd like to return. His circumstances are changing soon, and he should be able to race on Mondays. So, seeing as we had to have quite a discussion about what we were going to do about changing a day, and do we lose Connor, and we even went on a road trip to go up and see him and go for a few drinks and watch him lose a header to a 7-foot tall, beautiful blonde lady. Now he wants to come back. So I think we're going to have a chat about whether we want him back. Yeah, that one might take a while. But yeah, so if anybody is watching this and is interested and can beat a 7-foot beautiful blonde lady to a ball in the air, feel free to check out the Dynamic GT League Facebook page, drop us a message, and we'll get you involved on the practice sessions, which are held on Thursdays. We also do try and be online on other days, but I know recently just personal lives have had us a little bit too busy. Okay, that's enough waffle from me and from Ray. Blah 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 blah. Thank you, Ray. Yeah, the time to finish this off, get ready for the next race, which at the Gardens is going to be a bit of a tricky one. So to find out how that goes, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, hit that notifications bell, and we'll see you all again soon.